Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're bringing you the best signings of the summer transfer window so far. Let's go. Goalkeeper, Alban Lafont. After the excitement of last summer, which saw Liverpool and Real Madrid sign new number ones, there has been a lack of blockbuster signings between the sticks. One move that has gone under the radar though is Nantes securing the signature of Alban Lafont on loan. A goalkeeper once tipped as a future France number one and the youngest shot stopper in Ligue 1 history. 20-year-old Lafont only moved from Toulouse to Fiorentina 12 months ago in an €8 million deal after making over 100 appearances for Les Violettes. Last season though didn't go entirely to plan at La Viola with a number of errors, despite keeping a respectable 9 clean sheets in 34 Serie A appearances. Ultimately, he never settled in Florence, and the decision to leave Italy was entirely his. And his spot may have been under threat entering the 2019-20 campaign, with teammate Drakowski averaging a remarkable 5.1 saves per 90 on loan at Empoli, compared to a league average 2.7 for Lafont. The French youth international has welcomed a return back to Ligue 1 and could be set to stay should Nantes activate a reported €7 million option to buy. Right back, Wan-Bissaka. One of the Premier League's breakout stars in 2018-19, Wan-Bissaka is perhaps the biggest success story to arise from Roy Hodgson's solid tenure at Crystal Palace. Decent going forward and near impossible to trouble defensively, the young Englishman looked mature beyond his years, despite only racking up 46 senior appearances at the age of 21. And while the £50 million fee paid by Man United raised some eyebrows, he could present fantastic value to the Red Devils in the long term. The right-back slot at Old Trafford has been practically ignored over the past 7 years, with Matteo Darmian the only specialist to be trialled in the position since Raphael left the club in 2015. Wan-Bissaka's 3.7 tackles a game trumps anyone in the current United squad, with Fred the closest on 2.5, and while this is understandable with Palace ceding significantly more possession than Solskjaer's side last season, his 93% tackle success rate is truly remarkable. For context, the youngster is dribbled past less than once every 3 games, while Trent Alexander-Arnold, part of the Prem's tightest defence in 2018-19, was dribbled past more than once a match. Should Wan-Bissaka sustain the excellent form he showed at Selhurst Park, he could make the right-back position his own at Manchester United for the next decade. Before we move on to our next section, if you're enjoying this video, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay up to date with our newest videos. Centre-back, Joachim Andersen. Despite interest from North London rivals Arsenal and Spurs, and for a significantly higher price, it was Lyon who managed to secure the signing of Joachim Andersen. The highly rated 23-year-old signed for the 7-time French champions for a very reasonable €23 million fee from Sampdoria. Andersen, who is yet to be capped by Denmark, has spent 2 seasons with the Serie A side and sat out the majority of his first campaign in northern Italy. He became a key component of Sampdoria's defence in 2018-19 though, when he started 32 matches, and the centre-back made 2.4 tackles and interceptions a game, more than new teammate Jason Denaya's 1.9. However, he is more renowned for his passing range. Of outfield players, only Inter Milan's Marcelo Brozovic completed more than Andersen's 188 long balls in Serie A last season, and with 5.9 of them per 90, nobody in the Sampdoria squad or his new Lyon side come near his output. He also completed an impressive 89% of his passes, and moving to a team that averaged almost 60% possession in 2018-19 will surely see new boss Silvinho get the most out of his club's record signing. Centre-back, Matthijs de Ligt. Now, there have been some outstanding centre-back signings this window, whether it be Benjamin Pavard's move to Bayern Munich, Abdou Diallo's switch to PSG, or Wolves' loan capture of Jesus Vallejo. But for our second slot, we simply can't ignore Matthijs de Ligt. The Dutch defender was arguably the star of the 2018-19 Champions League, captaining Ajax to within seconds of a place in a historic final at the age of just 19, even scoring 2 important goals during the knockout phase. Like teammate Frenkie de Jong, it was inevitable he'd be snapped up by one of Europe's giants, and despite the best efforts of PSG, Man United and Barcelona to land the coveted teenager, Juventus proved the most alluring destination. In many ways, it was the perfect transfer for both parties. De Ligt is clearly cut out to lead a top defence and challenge for multiple trophies every year, while the Italian champions have been crying out for a new face to carry their ageing backline into the new decade. With Barzagli finally hanging up his boots, Bonucci now 32 and Chiellini turning 35 in August, the stage is primed for De Ligt to make his mark on a side desperate to get their hands on European silverware. Left back, Ferland Mendy. Considering he had yet to play a top-flight game this time 2 years ago, it's pretty remarkable that Ferland Mendy now finds himself in a Real Madrid jersey, and is set to succeed one of this century's great fullbacks. While Marcelo has only just turned 31, 2018-19 was one of the poorest seasons of the Brazilian's career. The usually prolific fullback contributed just 6 goal involvements in all competitions, his worst return in 12 years, and he was disappointing on the defensive end too, pulling off just 2.5 tackles and interceptions a game, a low for this decade. And while Mendy hardly blows away the former Fluminense Chelsea man statistically, the signs are that he can fill his shoes in the long term. A master dribbler, Mendy completes 2 take-ons a game, while his 1.4 chances created per 90 was the second best for a fullback in Ligue 1 in 2018-19. And although he could still improve on his delivery, he clearly has a similar skill set to a young Marcelo. While all the attention has been on Hazard's arrival at the Bernabeu this summer, in years to come Mendy may well be seen as a wiser investment. Midfielder, Youri Tielemans. Yes, we know we've gone on about this move already this summer, so it should come as no surprise we've decided to include Youri Tielemans in our list. The 22-year-old shone on loan at Leicester City in the second half of last season, and it definitely wasn't a secret that boss Brendan Rodgers wanted to bring him back to the King Power. 40 million is what it cost the Scotsman to get his man back to the East Midlands, who has gone on to poach the number 8 shirt from Kelechi Iheanacho. In the Belgians' 13-game salvo for the Foxes last season, he notched up 3 goals and 4 assists, all of which came following Claude Puel's sacking in late February. Tielemans' influence at both clubs he represented last season is plain to see. He ranked 4th in the Monaco squad for both shots and key passes per game, whilst his 5 goals placed him behind just Falcao come the end of the campaign. As for Leicester, 2.4 shots per 90 placed him second amongst his teammates, whilst his 1.2 key passes have him third. The Foxes' midfield has been a lot more exciting with Tielemans in it, and it promises to be so again this campaign. Midfielder, Tanguy Ndombele. It was a tough choice between Tanguy Ndombele and Rodri for this slot, but seeing as Tottenham's midfield was in need of more major surgery than Manchester City's, we've opted for the Frenchman here. Like former teammate Ferland Mendy, Ndombele had 0 top-flight experience before joining Lyon on loan in 2017. But after signing for Les Gone, he went from strength to strength in the middle of the park. Within a year, the 6-capped international was being linked with Juventus, Arsenal and Real Madrid, but was instead secured on a permanent by the French club for €8 million, allowing them to record a €52 million profit when he was sold to Spurs earlier this summer. But despite the hefty fee, Daniel Levy actually paid under Ndombele's market value, which is now estimated at well over 70 million. An exemplary box-to-box midfielder, Ndombele provides the Lily-Whites with some much-needed dynamism and technical ability, matching 3.2 tackles and interceptions a game with 1.6 key passes and 2.1 dribbles. Seen by Spurs fans as a Ndombele replacement, at just 22 years old he has the potential to become a significant upgrade on the Belgian. Midfielder, Dani Ceballos. Over at the Emirates, the big news is that of Nicolas Pepe signing from Lille, which at €72 million makes the Ivorian the most expensive African player ever. However, the acquisition of Dani Ceballos on loan is arguably a more interesting transfer for Arsenal fans. Criminally underused at Real Madrid, the Spanish midfielder has a wide skill set, equally adept at winning the ball back in the centre of the park, beating his man and creating chances for teammates. And he's arguably been Spain's best player at under 21 level over the past 4 years. And while he's been shunned by Zinedine Zidane, he should be made very useful by Unai Emery, who sees Ceballos as an effective Ramsey replacement for the 2019-20 season. If he's stationed in a 10 role, he should have his most productive season to date, with the likes of Pepe, Lacazette and Aubameyang to link up with and supply. Currently set on staying in Madrid in the long term, a stellar campaign in the Premier League could persuade Ceballos that Arsenal is the place for him. Forward, Julian Brandt. One of the earliest pieces of business completed this summer, Julian Brandt's move to Borussia Dortmund in May was a statement of intent. Closely following Torgan Hazard to the Westfalenstadion, the 23-year-old was the kind of player rivals Bayern Munich could have done with to help renew their squad under Niko Kovac. But for just €25 million, Die Borussen acquired one of Germany's most exciting attacking talents, who has become an even more useful player in the last 2 years. Classically a left winger, Brandt is capable of playing across the forward line, but in 2018-19 was utilised in a midfield 3 by Leverkusen manager Peter Bosz. From this deeper position, Brandt was still super productive, scoring 4 and assisting 8, contributing to a goal every 149 minutes, around the same rate Marcus Rashford managed for Manchester United last season. While Dortmund thrived with the industrious pairing of Witsel and Delaney in midfield during their assault on the bully in 18-19, the arrival of Brandt will no doubt shake things up. For better or worse, the German club will be even more exciting to watch come the new season. Forward, Sebastian Haller. It's odd to say that a £45 million transfer has gone slightly under the radar, but West Ham's acquisition of 25-year-old Sebastian Haller seems to have done just that. After failing in their pursuit of Celta-turned-Valencia striker Maxi Gomez, the Hammers looked towards the Bundesliga, and promptly broke their transfer record to bring in Eintracht Frankfurt's number 9 on a 5-year deal. And it's clear why Manuel Pellegrini wanted him to lead the line at the Olympic Stadium. Haller netted 15 goals in the league last campaign, something no West Ham player has done in the top tier since Paulo Di Canio scored 16 back in the 99-2000 season. And when you take his 9 assists into consideration too, the Frenchman averages a goal contribution every 90 minutes. If he produces at the same level, he would instantly become one of West Ham's best players, as both his 1.9 shots and 1.3 key passes a game from last season rank him third in his new side. West Ham's history with strikers has been questionable to say the least, so here's hoping Haller can help get them out of their hoodoo. Forward, Patrick Cutrone. Wolves have been linked with a number of strikers this summer, but in Patrick Cutrone they might just have signed the ideal player for Nuno Espirito Santo. Moving to Molineux for just £16 million, or half a Benteke, one of Milan's hottest prospects in recent years has slipped down the pecking order. With the Rossoneri signing Lille's Leao and seeing Andre Silva return from a loan, as well as the explosive Christoph Piontek, Cutrone's game time would continue to drop. Last season was an underwhelming one for the 21-year-old Italian, scoring just 3 goals in 12 starts. But we first got a glimpse of his talent as he burst onto the scene in the 2017-18 campaign. Cutrone found the net 10 times in his first year as a professional, playing just 1,500 minutes. But perhaps more importantly is the effect he will have for his new side. Last season, only one striker in the entire league played more than 3,000 minutes, and that was Wolves' Raul Jimenez. Cutrone has the physicality to match his Mexican teammate and will help take some responsibility away from Jimenez and Diogo Jota. And if the Milan Academy graduate can recreate his 2017-18 form, Nuno's got himself a bargain. And that's it for this 11. Are there any new signings you think should have been included? Put them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.